Well, thank you, Giddy, for that great introduction. And I am so thrilled to introduce our guest speaker for today, Melissa Whitaker. And Melissa has been around for 20 years. I mean, she must have started when she was, doing the Kool-Aid stand in the front yard because she's so young. But she does so much. She does sales management and business development, sales training, print services, documents and needs analysis, leadership. And what I like about Melissa is that her services are personalized to the person or client. So she changes and adapts when the need arises. It's not just a cookie cutter program with her. That makes so much sense to me. She's trained over thousands of sales reps. She's got so much experience. And she's helped hundreds of companies with their sales departments really growing and increasing profit, revenue, morale. So important in today's economy and what's going on right now. And she's also a keynote speaker. So we are so honored that she shared her time with us today. And I know Melissa can speak for hours on end. She has had awards. It's such a pleasure to have her here. And we really appreciate her time and what she has to share from her heart. And I would just like to introduce you to Melissa Whitaker, and the stage is yours.
Yes, I know. Before Melissa, you start, yeah, my apologies. Some of us did notice Judy's audio has been cutting in and out. Well, my friends, technology, right? We got to embrace it, and we all have challenges. So please bear with us. My only request to you is use the chat, feature of our, our Zooms. Put your information there so we can all connect later on. Yes, Melissa, eager to hear what your story right now.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. It was such a pleasure to be here today, to each and every one of you. Now, I know, as Judy mentioned, yes, I am used to speaking for longer periods of time. And so my challenge today is to speak for a very short snippet of time, but to really add a lot of value to each and every one of you. So that's going to be my goal today. I've started my timer. I want to honor all of your time today. So I was asked to come on today, you guys, and really share just a little bit about my story. And my story centers around resilience, innovation, and comebacks. What does that mean? I'm going to say that again. Resilience, innovation, and comebacks. All right, now let me start explaining what my story centers around those three main areas. So 12 years ago, I started my company called MWI, Melissa Whitaker International. And really, you guys, it was out of necessity. On the way. And I was working 12 to 16 hours a day, every day, 5 days a week, away from the home. And that obviously that was pretty challenging. So, my husband and I had a talk, and I said, somebody's going to have to give. Like, what are we going to do here? I can't keep putting in these 12 to 16 hour days with our current circumstances. However, you guys, I was the majority breadwinner of that time, or at that time. And so I couldn't just pull back. I couldn't just take a break, work part-time, something like that. There was a lot of responsibilities on my shoulders, and I'm sure many of you can understand that, relate to that, and create the outcome that we want, right? And so that's really where we were. And I said to my husband, what do we want to do here? And he said, Melissa, why don't you start your own business? And I first thought, oh my gosh, as exciting as that sounds, I was panicked at the same time. I'm sure you all could relate, those of you who are entrepreneurs, own your own businesses, have responsibilities. And I thought, honey, we have a mortgage to pay. We've got food to put on the table. I mean, is that really a good idea? And he said, honey, and he's so wonderful. It's like sometimes we need people to speak into us when we don't have everything, the confidence. And even though I felt very confident in my abilities and as a person, I was feeling nervous about the possibility of what that could mean. And my husband was great. And I know you've spent a lot of time, working hard, putting in long hours to make other companies a lot of money. And perhaps it's time for us to focus on making money for our family, but also having the flexibility that can come with our own schedule, creating our own schedule as entrepreneurs, right? So he was still working. He was kind of coming up in his career as well, but it was a slower start than we had anticipated. And so here's what was interesting. Back 12 years ago, you guys, it really then took a leap of faith for us and a lot of prayer. And our prayer back then, and still is today, is I always say, God, I will do everything you have given me the ability to do. All I ask is that I'll know that you're honoring this so that I can honor our family. And so that has been our prayer. It'll continue to be our prayer. 12 years later, still is, and thriving. But what does that mean? Why do I come to you today, you guys, to talk about resilience, innovation, and comebacks? Because as an entrepreneur or business owner, we all know that we would love our career to start, right? And we just zoom up in success as a straight line. But all of us know that's not realistic. We know that there are times where we fall into a big hole in the ground and we don't know how to get out. There's other times we're, clawing our way out of a hole, and then we start zooming again, and then we fall on our face, right? And that is what really is about resilience, innovation, and comebacks. Because for the first 5 years of my business, you guys, we just grew and grew, and we were adding on more and more employees and staff, and we were able to serve more and more clients. And frankly, sometimes it was going so fast, we couldn't even keep up, right? What a great problem to have. However, in 2015, the floor was pulled out from underneath us. You see, some of my staff and I, we had just taken the time to go on a mission orphanage with 90 children. And at that time of our business, you guys, we mainly did sales training and sales management leadership training, but they were mainly classes. And the reason why that was important at that time is because we had to make sure that we worked really hard to fill our classes 2 months in advance with contracts, so we could make sure that we could, have enough revenue coming in to pay for the operational expenses, and of course, payroll, right? That critical thing called payroll. And so we came back from this mission trip, and all of a sudden, that entire next week after we got back, one by one, every one of our clients that had signed contracts with us for the next 2 months, totally different situations on why they had to either delay their contract or cancel their contract for the next 2 months. You can imagine the panic in my face. I was like, this is what I was scared of. This is what I was frightened of, right? And I called my right-hand person, Tammy, at the time, and I said, Tammy, we've got to pray for God to bring us some unexpected, amazing big business, And she is so wise, you guys, so wise. She said, Melissa, I'm not going to pray for that. I was like, what? And she said, I'm going to pray for clarity on why God cleared your deck. And even though I was panicked and freaked out, so wise, so wise. And so I said, okay, God, what do you have for us? What are you trying to teach us? And as most of you probably can relate, we are so busy, you guys, working in the business. What do we not do? We don't take a step back and really work on the business. And so honestly, God said to me at that time, Melissa, you have this impact in the world right now, but you say you want to have this impact on the world. Do you still want that? And I'm like, well, yes, of course I do, but we just lost our business for the next 2 months. He said, no, go from here to here in your impact. We have to work on building your resilience. We have to continue to work on your character, how you handle stress, because you see, Melissa, what it takes to handle this kind of impact is very different than what it takes to handle this level of impact where you're at. Do you still want it? And I thought, oh my gosh, do I still want it? Good Lord, loaded question, people, right? I said, yes, God, I still want it. He said, then you're gonna have to trust me. Do you trust me? I'm gonna have to take you through a drought. And I thought, oh gosh, how long is this drought gonna be? Are we gonna be able to survive, right? Does anyone relate to that? And he said, here's the thing. if you keep consulting businesses the way that you are, and it's going great, right? We had such a great success track record. We're helping people rebuild revenue and profits. But he said, here's the catcher. He said, Melissa, the thing is, he's like, is that every business in the long run has times of success and frankly has times where the floor is pulled out from underneath them. They fall into a lull. They don't know what to do. He's like, how are you going to keep consulting businesses and have credibility if you've never had to go through it yourself? And I thought, oh, dear Jesus. Hold on. I've got a Rottweiler dog right here too. Come on. Dog lovers in the house. I got 3 of them and they're sleeping until they're not sleeping. Go. I only have 10 minutes. There's real life for you people. There's real life.
Thank you. Your dog made you more authentic right now.
That's right. Totally authentic.
That's right. You got our attention.
That's right. And so here's the thing, gang. I said, okay, what's it going to take? What is it going to be? And God said, here's the thing. I need you to learn to be still. And gang, I don't know about you, but I am not good at being and sagas. And so he said, I want you to sit and be still. And I need you, and here's the key thing, right? I need you to be still enough to dream again, to really innovate, to unleash your free spirit. When you do that, you will start to create and innovate the things that the marketplace will demand on you moving forward. And so I started to do that, gang. And I just want you to know it's so critical. So fast forward, because we only have a minute or 2 left, right? God really helped us to learn to build our resilience, begrudgingly to sit still and innovate, unleash our free spirit, and really create. And what happened from that is that we went back to building again, right? We created things that we knew the marketplace was demanding now at that time, and now in the future has become so critical. And we grew and we grew and we grew. 2017, 2018, 2019, and then we all know what happened in 2020, right? But here's the catcher. Here's the catcher. God worked on me and worked on us to build our resiliency, to build our innovation ability to create and to redesign, reinvent. And so when COVID hit, you guys, we didn't freak out. Thank the Lord. I was like, hey, we've been through this before. We can do it again. So we implemented our own tools. We really went through this process of asking our people, what do you need? What do our clients need? And where do you want us to go from here? And so as I wrap this up, here's the key thing, and I want you guys to get out of this, is that we started to ask our clients, what do you need? And no matter where you're at today, for anyone who's on this webinar and call, you're here for a reason. If you've hit us slated or anything else, I really encourage you to keep pushing through on your resiliency, building that, innovate and sit still and create and unleash that free spirit. Magic comes out of that, right? And so through that, we were able to also add on new divisions. We went from just having business transformation into adding health transformation, because our clients said, Melissa, because of COVID, we really need to pay attention to our mind, body, and our soul. We're struggling with that. We're struggling, right, with our mental and our physical too much, right? So we created a whole new division for that. And so last November, we launched it. We brought on 45 new clients already, which was shocking. And that just tells you we listened. We sat still, we unleashed our free spirit, we listened, and we provided. And that's what I want for you here today. And here's the key thing, gang. When you do that, you will have your comeback. We had our comeback years ago. We have another comeback here. We're always reinventing. So I want to leave that with you today as an inspiration. No matter where you're at, push free spirit and have your comebacks, even if it's over and over again. And I hope that helped you and inspired you today. And hopefully, I think I was like a minute over. Ladies, I hope that's okay. But I want to open it up and give it back to you on what questions do you guys have for me that I can help you with in addition to that?
Amazing, amazing. My friends, can we just show our love to Melissa?
Yes,
Please
yes.
show our love. Oh, wisdom, resilience, innovation, and comeback. What a story. Story after story, and your faith, which kept propelling you to where you are.
And I love what
While you were sharing the story, I was looking at Dr. Joy, who was one of our speakers, a few months ago. She wrote the book, Art of Resilience. And I said, common, see, the women who think about faith, resilience, and they know how to innovate themselves are the winners, are the winners. So my friends, open, anybody, any questions to Melissa, open your mic and ask her, please. Lisa said, Judy, okay.
Hey, Melissa,
Hi.
that was, hi, nice to meet you. That was amazing. I have so much to say here, but what really reaches me is your ability to not just listen, but to ask. The meaning, you know, I mean, my your dear friend said, you know, why has God cleared the deck for you? That is just so, that's so touching and profound. But what you did next, I think, is really significant. You asked and you listened. And is there anything that you can share? I know this is deeply, deeply personal, but how you heard that message.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, you know, honestly, one of the things that I've learned through my faith walk is to really sit still and be in tune to what I feel God is giving to me. And it could be through a song. It could be through someone that I know God puts in my path to speak to me about something as an answer to one of my questions. It comes in many different forms, but it doesn't happen unless we really are aware and listen to what I call nudges or whispers, right? And so for me, first question is to ask. And then we actually have to receive. We have to be willing to keep our eyes open for opportunities and suggestions and thoughts and journaling. All of that comes together. And that's how God, I believe, speaks to us. And I feel it's really important that we're just willing to receive it.
Thank you.
I hope that answers your question in the best way
It
possible.
does. Thank you. And I think the wisdom that you drew from this experience really teaches us a lot about how we can meet people where they are. You're talking about talking to businesses that are broken or that are reinventing themselves or got the rug pulled out. Now, with your story and your experience, you can speak personally and say, here's what I did when this happened to me. I mean, like if I was one of your consultants, I would think, wow, that really kind of brings it home. She has been there. So, I mean, that's really
bringing the point of asking and then listening and then innovating yourself. And that's where the comeback is. Miracle is all within us. We all have it. The free spirit is all within us. We all have it. So we just have to really have faith in our ability, because the universe, God, whatever you may call him, is there helping you achieve the maximum potential we all have within us. So anybody else, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Melissa. Whoa, I was taking note, dear husband, for for also letting you know and helping you, speaking into you, and really helping you understand who Melissa was at that time. So it's all, the miracles are happening all around us all the time. That's the way nature, God, universe talks to us. We have to be good listeners and good doers. Judy, anything else you want our community to share?
Can you put her information in the chat?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Put questions in the chat. And Melissa,
Information in the chat.
if you could put your contact information in there for people to get hold of you, that would be awesome.
Absolutely. And that's what we always encourage. And we request people that it's your community. And how does the community grow? It doesn't grow by just one touch. It goes by the fact that we are constantly making sure that we know each other a little bit better as close friends, and that friendship really develops. And yes, Melissa, information is on the chat. Please connect with her, talk to her. Each one of you should be talking to each other during the month when we only do it once a month, but we are hoping we'll be bringing more events, more projects during the month now that our community is really grown quite substantially. And we will love to right now. and it'll be a pleasure. So the reality of the matter is, my friends, please keep on doing your share also. If you want the world to grow, guess what Melissa was saying? It's time for you to innovate yourself, invent yourself, and absolutely that's where the comeback comes, because we all have the ability to be resilient. If we listen and stay still and then do up. So what an honor it was. What a great way to start, really giving us a nudge to unleash our free spirit. And yes, resilience, we saw that in you, and may your family prosperous, and may with your touches, many businesses keep prospering, because they will understand how they can do what they're supposed to be doing when the rug is pulled out of under them. It is not bound to happen. Life is going to happen to all of us. Whether we like it or not, life is always never a straight street. It's always up and down. It's what we do with that ups and downs, both ways. When we are up, then also don't forget that it's your being, it's a honor to have that. Acknowledge that, be in gratitude at that time too. And when you're down, then also remember, this shall also pass. It continues to pass. We have wisdom around us. We know that. Dr. Joy, I care for. And yes, the rest of our community is very supportive. Each one of you, Kathleen, Joy, Lucinda, we honor you. Annette, you're always phenomenal in your comments to us. We appreciate it. Aromi, my friend, Sangeeta, Barbara, Michelle, phenomenal friends. Dawn is here, and we feel honored. Judy and I are honored to have that.